Safety of the nation's airspace in focus. Aviation industry gets international commendation for passing safety test.
On the diversification of the economy, on the stimulation of agricultural production is the issue of smuggling.
Diversification of the nation's economy as Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariff sanitizes local rice production. Plus, aftermath of farm tank explosion, NNPC warns against panic buying. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober in Abuja, and in our Lagos Center, we have Ademola Adeoye.
Good evening and welcome.
All right. In recent times, the federal government has been paying attention to the development of the civil aviation industry, especially towards ensuring the safety of the nation's airspace. In recognition of this, the International Civil Aviation Organization has commended government with a promise to continue providing necessary guidance to operators. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that this was when acting President Yemi Osinbajo received a delegation of ICAO led by President of the Council, Ulumiwa Bernard Aliu.
Welcoming the delegation of the International Civil Aviation Organization, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo said government is committed to providing infrastructure and environment for ease of doing business in the sector. President of the Council commends government of Nigeria for the investment and support for the development of the industry in Nigeria, which by extension is supporting the industry in Africa and globally.
In terms of training and capacity building, we are working on transforming Nigeria to a regional center of excellence in terms of training and to support to ensure that aviation remains safe, secure, and sustainable, and to be an example to other developing countries in Africa and to support ICAO in its efforts to assist the other African states. So Nigeria is playing a very good leadership role.
He urges government to make the industry a cornerstone of national development. The acting president was informed on the coming international symposium on remotely aircraft piloted system.
For sure, we are not going to over-regulate, but also for sure, we will do regulate so that we will remain safe and secure, and then make the industry much more efficient, and then tap from the good uses of drones.
Minister of Aviation, Adis Rika, says the nation would use the outcome of the symposium to regulate more efficiently the use of unmanned air vehicles to strengthen aviation administration. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
While developing drones regulations that will enable Africa and Indian Ocean countries harness the socio-economic importance in the use of remotely piloted aircraft systems took center stage at the International Civil Aviation Organization Symposium holding in Abuja. Stakeholders from different parts of the world are expected to share their experiences in addressing the challenges of an unmanned aircraft. Emmanuel Ayimiro has details.
In the past, countries relied on satellites to track certain activities, but today, drones, which are cheaper to acquire, are being used to carry out different tasks, considering the low altitude, which provide clearer pictures for quick analysis. However, controlling the use of drones is yet to be supported by existing laws in most countries.
We also are well on the way to building the regulatory framework that will facilitate international operations conducted in accordance with instrument flight rules. This work program, when complete, will provide the basis for a certificated, remotely piloted aircraft to operate in sequence with manned aircraft.
To invite the African aviation community to steer clear of rejecting the growing RPAS and UAS activities in Africa as this should not be viewed as threats to the safety of the current air navigation operations.
The government, through Civil Aviation Authority, is establishing a remotely piloted aircraft safety team. They will also develop mitigation strategies to address these threats and prevent future accidents.
The symposium is to provide ACAO and its member states the opportunity to advance aviation priorities in the African region with ACAO's policy on no country left behind. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
And in other aspects of air power, the Nigerian Air Force has recorded another feat in its research and developmental drive with the manufacturing of an anti-skid braking system test bench for its fighter jets. The equipment was manufactured in collaboration with the University of Maiduguri Engineering Department. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports.
The Alpha Jet is an invaluable asset to the Air Force for its operations, especially interdiction missions. It is equipped with an anti-skid braking system which provides maximum brake performance on all types of runway surfaces and improves landing safety under wet conditions, as well as slow down the speed of the aircraft while maintaining its power. This system allows the pilot to apply full brake pedal force on landing without fear of wheel lockup or skidding. The function of the test bench is to simulate the performance of principal components of the anti-skid braking system on the fighter jets for maintenance and repairs in achieving optimal performance.
I'm very happy to say that the capacity building program we are putting in place is actually making us to be more effective and more efficient in the discharge of our responsibilities. I want to tell the Vice Chancellor and his entourage that we are moving this test bench immediately to the northeast.
With the delivery of this test bench developed for the new generation of Alpha jets, the Chief of Air Staff is optimistic that all unserviceable anti-skid systems on the fighter jet fleet will be repaired, and the Memorandum of Understanding with the University of Maiduguri will open up new frontiers in aerospace engineering in the country using local content.
You are yet to see the best of the University of Maiduguri. I want to assure the Nigerian Air Force that we have already taken your suggestions for the establishment of an aeronautic engineering department very, very seriously.
In the meantime, the Air Force has received another patent right from NOTAP for the production of unmanned ground vehicles, especially for inspection and movement of IEDs to disposal sites. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
As a critical sector to Nigeria's economic and national growth, the need to protect the integrity of the nation's maritime environment has been stressed. This was the consensus at a public hearing jointly convened by the House of Representatives Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration and that of Navy. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports that the issues of piracy and kidnapping featured prominently during proceedings.
Two bills were deliberated upon. That for an act to amend the Maritime Operations Coordinating Board Act 2004, reconstituting it for effective control of all maritime operations in Nigeria's territorial waters, and that to create the Maritime Security Fund and to establish anti-piracy offences.
Oil production in Nigeria plummeted by more than 25% due to sea robbery, piracy and other attacks. The Nigerian Navy has been at the vanguard of liquidating these criminalities.
The Deputy Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Chukwuka Onyema, standing in for Speaker Yakubu Dogara, said that the 8th National Assembly, as part of its legislative agenda, will put in place measures to promote rapid economic growth and development.
I wish to reiterate the importance of giving adequate attention to maritime security.
3 major industries have emerged from the maritime sector, namely transportation, fishing, and most importantly, oil and gas.
We can't enforce such if the environment is not secured.
Members urged that wastages should be blocked so as to maximize utilization of the proposed Maritime Security Fund. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Solving Nigeria's housing challenge through innovative finance and infrastructure was the focus of discussion at the 11th Abuja International Housing Show. Joseph Orok reports.
There have been conflicting figures of housing deficits in Nigeria, although studies show that the shortfall of housing units stands at about 17 million. This shortfall has largely been blamed on finance by those that need houses. Experts at this housing show agree that there is need for an innovative solutions.
It is indisputable that housing is a problem globally. So let's focus less on how big it is. Let's focus more on what we can do.
Each of these impediments is tackled, and is being tackled, again, the minister is here, through targeted policy initiatives of the existing Buhari administration.
The events featured distinguished awards to Governor Mohammed Abubakar of Bauchi State and the head of civil service, Winifred Oyoita, who was represented.
Let me assure all assembly, particularly the good people of Bauchi State, that this will serve to reinvigorate to ensure that I deliver on all the promises that we have made to the good people of Bauchi State.
The three-day housing show is discussing the future of the housing sector and evolving issues, construction, technology and skill developments, as well as housing finance solutions and strategies. In Abuja, Joseph Orok, NTA News.
And engineers from 5 African countries are in Abuja to develop new strategies that will complement efforts and build self-competence in engineering research. Salihu Abdullahi reports that the engineers are working on how to solve common engineering challenges.
There is the belief that finding homegrown solutions to African challenges will go a long way in facilitating sustainable development. This forum, which brings together engineers from Ghana, Senegal, Cameroon, Gambia, and the host, Nigeria, is an initiative aimed at improving and harnessing technological potentials of the continent. Here, the participants are exploring how to use human and material resources to open up more markets.
People have also come up with sustainable building materials to improve building materials such as cement, roofing sheets, and so on. So we are going to see new technologies that will bring down the cost of these building materials.
In urban areas, people are wealthy enough to afford bottled water, or pure water, as we call it. But people in villages, they're not rich enough to afford that. So what they end up doing is drinking contaminated water from ponds or streams. So we are working on developing ceramic water filters.
With an understanding of the challenges of local content development affecting the provision of basic social amenities, these engineers hope to come up with models that will aid infrastructure development with emphasis on potable water and power supply.
We also have other groups, like we have the biomaterial group that will be carrying on other activities and hands-on activities as well.
We are getting the real stuff from the real people.
The impact of the 5-day workshop is expected to be felt in the near future. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has advised consumers of petroleum products across the country to avoid panic buying and careless storage of fuel. In a statement reacting to the fire incident on Saturday at a tank farm within Calabar Free Trade Zone, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Ramadu, said the NNPC has over 40 days sufficiency for petrol, diesel and kerosene to meet consumers' demands nationwide. While expressing the NNPC Group Managing Director's regrets over the unfortunate loss of lives in the inferno, the statement added that the fire incident at the private tank farm did not affect its operations. And you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still ahead, federal government to provide tax relief to investors in the creative industry. This and more when we return.
Some reunions are worth waiting for. Reconnect your old SIM and we'll give you 6,000 Naira airtime. Also enjoy 8 times bonus on every e-top-up recharge.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy a delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Taste is the difference.
Yes. Difference is in the taste. Nothing tastes like my Indomie.
Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Bros, I find correct words. Huh? See the shop for that side.
Look all that. Where be correct words? Now the shop be done, now the next one.
Peter, see as people they pack, they go to the shop, go buy clothes. It don't reach like 5 days now. I just suspect this Tunde way this is where in Waka could carry Waka. See, I go blow whistle. I go blow whistle to go spoil.
Your whistle. Come on, go investigate the matter before you blow whistle. Whistle blood. Come on, come.
Thank you for coming.
Show first.
Come. Not only you the circle for this market. What we say only your shop, everybody come. And you just want blow whistle. I go blow something. This is not be whistle blowing matter. Now MTN goodie bag.
What it be MTN goodie bag?
With MTN goodie bag, if you carry your market enter another level, whether not for Facebook or for WhatsApp or for Twitter, for as low as 25 naira.
25 naira.
Yes.
Or buy 5 when you like for 50 naira. Dial *131# to start.
So with MTN goodie bag, your business go pure.
Since inheriting the Boko Haram insurgency, Governor Kashim Shettima has been supporting security agencies, coordinating community intelligence, recruiting and funding thousands of youth volunteers, hunters in the fight against Boko Haram. He has rebuilt hospitals, water sources, schools, police stations, local government secretariats, and thousands of houses destroyed by insurgents in rural communities. He is resettling victims and empowering them through modern agriculture. He is building mega primary and junior secondary schools to provide quality and free boarding education to over 50,000 children orphaned by the Boko Haram. He has remained prompt on worker salaries, built over 2,500 houses and apartments in 5 estates. He is building and equipping new hospitals, building Borno's first state university after 41 years, building over 10 factories. Governor Shettima is remodeling and building new roads, bridges, lightening the streets, and so much more. Join the rebuilding of Borno to say no to Boko Haram.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one, I dey buy. Standard, we sign. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office when near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
The Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, FNSA, cordially invites stakeholders in the water sector and the general public to the official flag-off of construction works at Bakalori Irrigation Scheme, which include rehabilitation and conversion of sprinkler to surface irrigation system in Bakalori Irrigation Scheme under the Transforming Irrigation Management in Nigeria Dream Project by His Excellency, the Acting President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON. Date Tuesday, 18th July 2017. Venue Service Center Number 1, Bakalori Irrigation Scheme, Talata Mafara, Zamfara State. Time 3 p.m. National Project Coordinator of Tremin, Engineer Peter Manjok, announcer.
And Culture, Lai Mohammed, invites all state commissioners, permanent secretaries, and directors of information, professionals, and stakeholders in the information sector to the second Extraordinary National Council on Information. Theme: Hate Speeches, Fake News, and National Unity. Chief host: Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bako Lalong, Executive Governor of Plateau State. Date: 20th to 21st July 2017. Venue: Eliel Center, Gold and Base, Jos, Plateau State. Time: 8 a.m. prompt. Program of events: Thursday, 20th July, 12 noon to 6 p.m. Arrival and registration of participants: Friday, 21st July, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Registration continues Friday, 21st July, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Council meeting: Hussaini W. Daya, Acting Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
The Future Assured project of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is carrying out free medical screening and distribution of food items at various IDP camps while ensuring the economic empowerment of women through training and skill acquisition. In recognition of her efforts, wives of governors have lent their voices and support.
In Kogi State, we feel the impact of Future Assured, especially in women and children.
The Future Assured program of Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, the wife of the president, has been very assuring and still reassuring in Sokoto State. It has impacted positively in the areas of humanity, especially women and children.
Supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Thanks for staying with us on the news. The Senate will continue to support government's efforts on the diversification of the country's economy through sanitization of local rice production. Senate President Bukola Saraki reiterated this at a one-day public hearing by the Senate Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariff on Smuggling. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu reports.
Declaring the public hearing open, Senate President quoted a 2016 World Bank report which indicates that an astonishing 1.45 trillion naira worth of assorted goods are smuggled into Nigeria through Benin Republic border alone every year. He noted that local rice production has continued to face daunting obstacles posed by activities of such smuggling despite government's restriction on importation.
The singular greatest threat to the deliverance of the promises made by our President Buhari on the diversification of the economy, on the stimulation of agricultural product is the issue of smuggling.
Chairman Senate Committee on Customs and Excise, Hope Uzodinma, said there are bottlenecks in the fight against smuggling, one of which is the tariff differences between Nigeria and most of West African countries.
When goods are illegally brought into the country through smuggling, it is not just the revenue that is lost. Local industries are affected adversely and jobs are lost.
Stakeholders at the public hearing advised that cargo trafficking notes should be introduced and strictly adhered to in conformity with international best practices. They also want shipping companies held responsible for their operations. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayanu, NTA News.
The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Pension, Adamu Hassan Shekaro, has commended the Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, Sharon Ikeazo, for her resolute, steadfast and proactive strategies in tackling pension issues. A statement by the head of corporate communications, Imao Kundu, indicates that this was at an executive briefing on the build-up to the forthcoming verification exercise for the South-West and North-Central civil servants. He reiterated the committee's resolve to always support PTAD on the onerous task of improving the welfare of pensioners. Executive Director PTAD, Sharon Ikeazo, disclosed that a total of 56,587 pensioners have been successfully verified in the Northeast, South-South, Northwest and Southeast zones. She solicited the legislature's unwavering support towards prompt payment of monthly pensions and the agency's quest to conclude the North Central and Southwest zones with an estimated 63,532 pensioners. The federal government says it will provide tax relief to investors in the creative industry. Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo stated this in a message to the opening of the Maiden Summit on financing the creative industry in Nigeria. Anthony Forsen reports.
The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, represented by the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, said the creative industry can be made more vibrant by the private sector if proper investment is made in that direction.
You don't actually need direct government funding. You need government to enable you to find your own funding because you have shown up until now that you have the ability to do that. We simply need to support you better. How can we do that? Finding better ways of harnessing and supporting your revenue stream, because it is your revenue stream that makes your projects bankable.
She maintained that the federal government is committed to ensuring that the potentials of Nigerian youths are channeled into productive use, hence the need to create the enabling environment for the creative industry to grow. The creative industry, she said, accounts for 1.4% of the country's GDP and can rise to 4.5% if adequate investment is channeled into the sector. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said the conference is conceived as a deliberate way of finding a lasting solution to funding problems weighing down the sector.
All these efforts are geared towards one objective, which is transforming the creative industry into a creative economy, so that we can allow the creative talents of our teeming youth to blossom and create more jobs among others.
Panelists at the summit spoke on a wide range of issues.
So it would be useful to have a study to understand exactly if there are 25 problems in the industry, which are the 5 lowest hanging fruits.
Until we have that at the back of our mind, we will just be missing the boat.
We've gone through the learning process. Now we understand the process. It's been very interesting because we have continued to grow in all the subsectors.
Only matter of time and focusing on the content and distribution of that content. The moment Nigeria gets that ecosystem into place, I think Nigeria already have that creative base which can go all over the world.
This maiden edition of the Nigerian Creative Industry Summit will become an annual event. In Lagos, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
The federal government has promoted 16 Deputy Controller Generals under the Ministry of Interior. The Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Bello Dambazo, decorated the officers with their new ranks. Murjanatu Adam Saeed reports.
More commitment, more diligence, more service to the fatherland.
More service to the fatherland.
This ceremony underscores moves by the federal government towards reforms in various services under the Ministry of Interior. Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Bello Dambazo, charged the newly promoted officers to work towards addressing the challenges confronting the services.
We're giving you a challenge, and that challenge is to ensure that you support the system to deliver the services that Nigerians deserve, excellent services.
If you look at the pattern of the selection, they are based on geopolitical zone.
Promotion has been stagnant for some time, but I'm assuring you that for now, that era is over.
The board under the current Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Bello of Dambazo, has tried to see that the age of stagnation is becoming a sin of the past.
With the honor done to them, protecting strategic national assets, protection of mines towards reducing illegal mining, border management, as well as support towards prisons reforms to make the situation better for all Nigerians was also discussed. In Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
And it's time now to link up with Ademola in our Lagos Center for more reports. Ademola.
Thank you, Cyril. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. Drastic reduction in examination malpractices by candidates has been attributed to the impressive result recorded in this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Head of the National Office of WAEC, Olu Adenipekun, stated this while announcing the result for the 2017 WASC for school candidates in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the detail.
According to the head of National Office of WAEC, Mr. Olu Adenipekun, out of the 1,559,162 candidates that sat for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination on May 12, 2017, a total of 923,486 candidates obtained minimum of credits in 5 subjects and above, including English language and mathematics.
The percentage of candidates in this category in the world for school candidates in 2015 and 2016 was 38.68% and 52.97%.
Mr. Adenipekun said that 214,952 candidates representing 13.79% of the total candidature for the examination will not have their results. This, he said, is not unconnected with their involvement in various forms of examination malpractices.
The committee's decision will be communicated to the affected candidates through their schools very shortly.
The head of WAEC National Office, however, admits that 95,734 candidates have issues with few subjects traceable to errors detected in the course of registration or during the examination, but that their results are being processed. Candidates who sat for the examination are expected to check details of their results on the Council's website, www.waecdirect.org. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Continuous training and capacity building of government employees for optimal performances are very essential to the formulation and implementation of all government policies and programs. The Director General of the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, Cecilia Gaya, stated this at the passing out ceremony of the 2017 Second Regular Management Program of the school in Lagos. Tunde Saike reports that the Director General was represented.
The civil service has been variously described as the engine room for the formulation and implementation of government's policies and programs. For this, civil servants are expected at all times to be abreast with modern tools and new innovations in policy formulation and program implementations. This, ASCON Director General Cecilia Gaya, represented by the Director of Studies, Department of Management Studies, Jacob Obaoye, says ASCON would not relent in impacting civil servants with such knowledge for them to become efficient, effective, and in tune with modern trends in government.
When a nation develops the capacity of its workforce, they can take the responsibility to create the other necessary and sufficient capacities for efficient, effective, and responsive service delivery.
Some of the participants expressed delight at the opportunity and said they are now well positioned to help in addressing any issue of government's policies and programs.
Course on advanced project management has given us a new orientation.
We've acquired the knowledge, skill, and attitude to work, and I intend to put it to use when I get back to work.
What we have learned here, we will use it and practicalize it on the field.
The 2 weeks training program attracted participants for the human resources management, personal effectiveness management, and advanced financial management courses. Others also took the electronic record management, advanced project management, and performance improvement courses. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now go back to Abuja with Cyril for the rest of the network news.
Thank you, Demola. And just ahead, more women benefit from federal government's special intervention program. We'll be back shortly.
This is what a normal data day looks like. You on your lane minding your own business. La 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 la. Suddenly, Glow decides to surprise you. Free 200 megabytes and wow, your parole don't change. This means you begin to enjoy more uploads and more Snapchatting, more streaming, more gaming. Look at you, buzzing around town, having the time of your life.
Free Data Day is here for all Glow subscribers. Get 200 MB free data for a day and change your parole. Use 100 MB plus 150 naira on voice calls or just 250 naira on voice calls in the preceding week to enjoy. Watch out for an SMS alert for details. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
The Executive Governor of Zamfara State and the Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum, His Excellency Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, on behalf of the government and good people of Zamfara State, invites the general public to the commissioning of projects at Gumi, Kwatarkwashi in Bungut local government, Gusau, Bakura, and Talata Mafara, as part of activities marking the 6th year anniversary of Governor Yari's administration, which will be performed by the acting president, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, scheduled to hold on Tuesday, 18th July 2017. Your Excellency, you are most welcome to Zamfara State, where farming is our pride. Malam Ibrahim Okala Muhammad Liman, State Deputy Governor and the Chairman Reception Committee, announcer.
Welcome to the new world of superb taste, now here in Nigeria. Everyone, try it and enjoy the delicious goodness. We are bringing our new noodles to every corner of the country. That's right, it tastes great. It tastes fantastic. It's time for a new noodle. Nigeria, you want the truly delicious taste? Come and get it! Be supreme, Nigeria.
This is my second daughter. That's the one after that one. That's my granddaughter there.
I have never seen my grandchildren.
Mama, I would like to see your face again.
What's your son's name? John Luca.
Yeah.
Is that your son?
Papa,
yes.
Yes.
Is that you?
Close-Up has active zinc mouthwash to clean the deep corners of your mouth. And micro-shine crystals. Stay closer for longer with 12 hours of fresh breath and a beautiful white smile. Close-Up, Nigeria's #1 selling toothpaste.
Do you know the 125?
McVitie's Digestive is celebrating 125 years by giving away millions of naira in cash and airtime in the 125 promo from the 1st of July to the 30th of September. Simply buy any of the McVitie's Digestive special promo packs, scratch the foil, and text the code to 55332, and you could be one of the lucky winners. Now, that's the 125. Keep buying, keep scratching, and keep winning. Approved by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission.
sabi make una plan well.
Learn correct information about different kind of family planning method. Then they safe and they work well. You and your partner fit plan when una like to born pikin.
Tanda well, make you yarn with your partner. Make them sabi say you support modern family planning.
Oya waka go color be the better one wey go fit your body today. Cause say we get one wey correct for you and your partner.
Sabi the correct thing wey family planning they do. Follow talk family planning with your partner. Waka go do family planning. Get it together. Join hand plan your family for tomorrow way better.
Now the Federal Ministry of Health they bring una this Get It Together tori.
You're still on to NTA Network News. Let's get down to business now. Nigeria's inflation for the month of June eases by 0.15%. Experts say the trend is a good indicator for economic recovery. Shikeola Ikpinaye tells us more on this and other business developments.
It's good to have you join us on Business News. I am Shikeola Ikpinaye. Consumer Price Index CPI, which measures inflation, increased by 16.10% year-on-year in June 2017, indicating a 0.15% points lower than the rate recorded in May, which stood at 16.25%. Also represents the fifth consecutive decline in the rate of inflation since January 2017 on a month-on-month basis. The headline index increased by 1.58% in June. That is 0.30% points lower than the rate of 1.88% recorded in May 2017. This is contained in data released by the National Bureau of Statistics this Monday. Director General Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Chichioke Ikechukwu, noted that the continuous decline in the headline index in the past 5 months is a good indicator that strategies initiated by government to stabilize the nation's economy is achieving positive results.
If you go through the macroeconomic indicators, you see that we are just beginning to do well. Look at the growth level in the employment area. Look at the inflation rate, which is gradually dropping. Look at the interest rates. So because the more you have money in the system, the more interest rates will continue to drop.
Nigeria remains Africa's largest population with about 189 million people. UNFPA 2017 population projection reveals that by 2050, Nigeria's population would have doubled, and by 2100, the population would have quadrupled, making Nigeria the third most populous country in the world. This certainly does not sound good for the country that is still grappling with economic growth. Economic watchers, however, say the situation presents an opportunity for the country to make the best of the situation through demographic dividend. Vice President, Population Council and Population Dynamics scholar John Bongat says demographic dividends provides the opportunity for Nigeria to effect a boost in GDP per capita growth rate, lower fertility level, and invest substantially in youth population.
But in order to get a dividend, the government has to do two things. It has to invest in young people, in their education, in their health, and in jobs. And secondly, it has to reduce the birth rate.
Mr. Bongat noted that if actions are not taken fast, Nigeria's economic growth will not be able to keep pace with the population growth rate. Creating an enabling environment to boost the nation's business terrain for entrepreneurs, especially upcoming ones, was emphasized at an event to mark the 2017 International Youth Skills Day in Abuja. Motivated by passion for what they love to do and the need to add value to the nation's economy, this forum of youths from different universities are already carving a niche for themselves in the business world, a feat they said they have achieved through hard work, resilience, sacrifice, and determination to make a difference. They need to help youth discover how to choose a compatible career path and take the necessary step to develop it, prompted the initiative.
We are trying to encourage more youths to find their potentials, find their passion, to go into something, that they can be self-sufficient.
We started with roughly about 10 to 15,000 to get my equipment first, and then I built, from making more hair, doing more makeup. I was saving up, I bought more equipment.
So now you see young people coming to you to tell you, oh, please teach me, how did you make it, how are you doing?
You know, before we didn't have that because they see us like we are wasting our time.
We have a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria, people who will do something and not wait for the government to provide jobs for them.
The initiative is in line with the federal government's drive to boost job creation through entrepreneurship. And finally, on business news, we bring you graphic details of closing figures on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this Monday. And that's it for now on business news.
Right, and acting President Yemi Osinbajo has granted audience to Pakistani children's education activist and youngest Nobel Prize laureate, Malala, who is in the country for the promotion of girl-child education. The 20-year-old head of Malala Fund told State House correspondent Jide Onifade after the meeting that she suggested the need for government at federal, state and local levels to unite in scaling up education for the boy and girl child in the country.
Was to ask the government to declare a state of emergency for education, because the education of Nigerian girls and boys is really important, and the states, the government, the federal government and the local government, they all should be united for this. Secondly, the spending, it should be made public, and thirdly, the Child Rights Act should be implemented in all states. So this was my three-point ask, and I was really happy to hear a positive response from the acting president that they are happy to ensure that they are happy with the suggestion of implementing emergency and for education, so and that they are happy to work more on education, that they are united, and I'm really happy to hear positive responses from the ministers as well.
And more women are benefiting from the federal government's social intervention program on women empowerment, which targets about 1 million beneficiaries. Mamsudan Damian Datti reports that the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, joined the National Council for Women's Societies to flag off the pilot scheme.
These women have just received bank alerts of 50,000 naira each in their individual bank accounts, courtesy of the federal government's special intervention scheme. The fund is to support the beneficiaries boost their businesses.
I'm so happy because we are remembered.
The beneficiaries are mostly rural farmers, petty traders and small-scale business women registered under the National Council for Women's Societies. The scheme is executed by the Bank of Industry on behalf of the federal government.
Each local government will produce 30 women, multiply that by 774. The names that will come forward surely will be names of grassroots women. Interest-free loans, the tenure is 6 months, they pay weekly.
Wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, represented by former Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Paul Ntalan, said investing in and empowering women will enhance societal growth and national development.
Women empowerment is the key to women realizing their self-confidence, fulfillment as mothers, to support their homes.
The event coming on the first anniversary of NCWS national offices dwelled on women empowerment, a panacea for national development. Mamso Damien Ati, NT News.
The police in Maiduguri has confirmed the deaths of 8 persons, among them 4 female suicide bombers, and 18 others sustained injuries in multiple suicide bomb attacks on different locations on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Maimuna Garba reports.
The multiple suicide bomb attacks occurred Sunday night and early Monday morning at Mamanti village in Mulai General Area, Simari and London Chiki on the outskirts of Maiduguri metropolis. There was no civilian casualty recorded at Mamanti and Simari communities attacks, apart from the 3 suicide bombers who were engaged by troops while trying to infiltrate the areas. However, the 4th suicide bomber who attempted to enter a mosque at London Chiki area detonated her IED, killing herself and 8 persons, injuring 18.
All the agencies who have deployed the police EOD to sanitize scenes of these explosions, to allow for normal activities to resume.
Governor Kashim Shettima has visited the scene of the incident and condoled the bereaved families of London Chiki mob's attack. Some mobs at London Chiki area have attacked the State Emergency Management Agency vehicles on rescue operation that was at the scene of the attack to support and assist the victims. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And just ahead on the news, a bit on the foreign scene, sport. Stay with us.
The impact of climate change on the nation's food security is the focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live, as experts proffer solutions for best practices. NTA Tuesday Live, educative, informative, and incisive. Don't miss it.
Calm down. The movie I'm downloading is on 95%. It's still on. Eh?
Introducing Airtel Unlimited Data Plans. Get Unlimited 10 for 10,000 Naira. Get Unlimited 15 for 15,000 Naira. And Unlimited 20 for 20,000 Naira. Unlimited data. Unlimited you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped. We are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
And on foreign news is Debola Brookslyn Sunday.
Let's begin from Africa, where 3 people have been rescued so far after a Cameroonian army vessel carrying at least 35 people capsized off the country's southwest coast. Army source in a report indicates the soldiers from an elite military unit were on board when the boat went down between Limbe and Bakassi on Sunday. The unit's Rapid Intervention Brigade is at the forefront of Cameroon's fight with the Nigeria-based Boko Haram militants in the northwest. Rescue operations are still ongoing in the mishap attributed to rough sea conditions by government officials. Meanwhile, South Korea has proposed holding military talks with the North after weeks of heightened tensions following Pyongyang's long-range missile tests. A senior official in a report said talks should aim to stop hostilities that have raised military tensions at the fortified borders between the two countries. Though South Korea's President Moon Jae-in has long signaled he wants close engagement with the North, a proposal North is yet to respond to. In another development, more than 7 million voters have taken part in an opposition-organized referendum in Venezuela. According to academics monitoring the polls, voters strongly oppose government's plan for a new constituent assembly with the power to scrap the National Assembly and reunite the constitution. Venezuela is polarized between backers of President Nicolas Maduro and opponents who want fresh elections. The opposition blamed a paramilitary gang for the shootings, which prosecutors said they would investigate. And that wraps it up on this segment. The news continues.
And a bit on sport now with Naidi Soni.
The annual Children's Summer Golf Development Program of the IBB International Golf and Country Club